Alright, hey guys, I am going to do another Golf Clash video. I am going to focus on Tour 11 for this one. As you can kind of see where I am right now, I have some spots open for my chests, and I want to get that pin chest unlocked, so let's see if I can't just bust out 8 holes real quick. I'm going to show you kind of my inventory. It's very similar to what you've seen. I just bumped Thor's up to 3, and it was basically what caused me to be able to get through. Like, this club was good enough for me to basically get through the hump of Tour 11. And also, I just got a pox. It's so funny that I'm maxed, and after I maxed my trophies, then I finally get to unlock Apocalypse. It finally shows up for the first time, so I bought 14 cards of that to get it up to a 3 immediately. So that worked out pretty nice. And you can kind of see what my new bag is. I did get Spitfire from a silver chest, I believe. It was basically bulk opening silver chest the entire Tour 11. So basically that whole grind period, I was basically just, as soon as it come in, just straight open it immediately. Try to reduce that time. I'm going to go ahead and try to do, hopefully win. I want foremost, more than anything, is more chests, more club upgrade, because you can see I shouldn't be in this tour. Like, it's basically the gist of it. Everybody, Thor 6, like, here's the perfect example as to why I shouldn't. And all those dead balls, I don't even have dead balls on this account. I started this game after the dead balls came out, so I don't even have that as an option. I am looking forward to the new snowballs. I don't know if you saw those. I did just get the stats for them. I can pull that up real quick. I just sent it to my friend here. So you can see these are the new stats if you haven't seen them yet. So I'm looking, snowball is basically like a dead ball, essentially, but side spin and wind resistant are flipped. And that ball bowl is basically a turkey ball. So I do have those, but I do like them a lot. So that's one of that might be my favorite ball in the game, to be honest with you. So I'd love a billion of those because I think the most important thing in the game is basically having that ball trail, that wind resistance, and being able to restrict that is one of the most important, crucial things of this game, in my opinion. Much more than distance or anything like that. So let's see here if I can't still thread this. Looks like I'm able to. Tried to get a little aggressive on that approach. Now I want to start to talk a little bit more about the ring system that I play. So, as you see, I've been using a lot of Thorn on this account. It's kind of the most developed club. Until my claw goes 9 or 10, that's the point that I really like it, especially a 10. That's the point that I think claw becomes kind of a dominant wedge for me. I'm not a big fan of Hornet. Of course, yes, it has great accuracy, but it's missing that backspin, and I like to go for the dunk way too much to have a Hornet in my bag. So, but I do want to start to talk a little bit more about the ring system. I forget what my bag looks like already, but I'm going to try to talk a little bit more in depth about the rings. And this is kind of a hard hole to start you on. I find this green to be very glitchy. So you want to kind of try to dial something up. So you see my Thorn, it's a 6, it's right around, but you can see just moving this up and down, it's all over the place. So you want to kind of find pick a spot. I like to do usually some side spin. Usually I'll try to bring it in like a little bit like this. a little bit more right to left. And you see I'll kind of put it like right in front of the hole. And this club likes to play about 2 rings per, give or take, on max club. Now I didn't, and when it's into the wind, like I'll basically point it just a little bit to the side. You see I'm running out of time, but I'm going to play it more towards max club here because I have a feeling that I'm, hate missing my perfect ball. So it's going to shoot out to the left, unfortunately. I already know it. It's annoying, but you'll see when I'm lining that up, if it's into the wind, then I'll rotate to where it's just a little bit past, basically straight, but more towards pulling it longer. So I'll rotate and go just past center to where I'm not restricting the yardage. And when it's downwind, I'll do the opposite. So I'll pull ever so slightly to where it would be pulling shorter, to where if I pull straight up and down, because I don't know, I'm sure you've noticed by now, I like my corrections to be either straight up or straight down. I don't really like anything else. So that's basically the only 2 ways I play it. And of course, I draw the opponent that has Thor 6, or was it? I'm sure he's going for this backspin shot. And of course, he has 100. This is basically the hardest opponent that I could have drawn. Almost nobody in this tour is using Thor. And of course, the time that I come to play, because this is the shot that I just adopted out of kind of necessity. So depending on how close this guy is, I may or may not hit this shot. I'm going to have to hit mine. If it's straight downwind like this, I'm going to have to hit it on the nuts. Like it's got to be perfect. It has to be absolutely perfect, which brings the bunker into play. So it's not really going to be an enjoyable shot for me. Stay up there. So I do believe I can beat 5.8, but at the same time, I feel like I could probably beat that with a sniper too, to be honest with you. So, you know, this is kind of a dilemma that I'm kind of in. I feel like, you know, it's just a straight side spin. I feel like I'm just going to go for this. Hopefully I don't regret this decision. So you're going to see I like to play mine a little bit aggressive. You see I'm trying to kind of estimate where about 12 rings would be. And you're going to see me kind of overhook this because of the wind. Of course, great ball. Shouldn't affect me. And you see I didn't adjust my downspin or anything. And you can see I can just annihilate his tee shot. And that's kind of the reason that I opted for that shot instead of going for his. He gave me so much room to play with. There's almost no way my sniper was going to lose to him. So going first kind of kicked him in the ass there. It's unfortunate for him, good for me, because I had so much margin for error. And you saw the way that I was aiming. I was basically trying to figure out where would 12 rings from where I'm pointing be. 12 or 13 rings. So I was trying to point it and then visualize, so you know from where I'm pointed to the end of the bullseye is 5 rings. So I'm trying to estimate another bullseye on top of it basically, and just make sure that there's enough room to account for that. And then aside for that, I did full right spin and then did at least half curl to the right as well. So you saw the way that I did it. Turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with the results. So you're gonna see me here. I'm just gonna dump this chest and then move it, convert it right over to the other one, so I can just make a little bit more room on my home screen here. I don't mind, you know, giving up 2 gems. It takes you all about 2 hours to make, like an hour to make 2 gems in this game. Now, you see, this is kind of what I deal with on a daily, is my phone just acting ridiculous and not opening this. Usually the longer I sit here, and it only does it on this guest account. It's this Droid Turbo 2, which is like 2.5, 3 years old at this point, and it's just, you know, it just doesn't it just doesn't function normally. So let's go ahead, we'll clear those out. Let's come back in the game, see if it actually even opened. I'm not sure if it did or not. Usually when the game just freezes like that, I usually have to redo it. But no, it's basically saying, now I'm assuming Playdemic, if you put in a ticket, they'll say, you know, that went to your account. Well, I kind of have no way of knowing one way or the other because I didn't screenshot everything beforehand. So maybe if you go back to my video, I think I did go into my bag, see if you see any more snipers or anything. Maybe it'd be easy to tell if I got something there or not. But let's keep going with this. Gonna do some more games. It isn't too bad, especially the more you play it. Hey, this guy's like me. Just has a bunch of rookie stuff. Oh, but he does. Oh, well, he has a pro banner. Why isn't he doing pro? So let's see how deep into the game this guy is. Oh, he's about the same as me. That must be why. This might be his first week of pro, so he might have had to do. So I'll try to look at his bag, see what he's working with. I think that's an extra mile. It's a pretty solid drive. I'm assuming, not necessarily, but I'm assuming he's going to have trouble getting to this one in 2 with his limited bag with less than 1,000 games. And I'm kind of the same way. I have got there in 2 on this hole. In fact, you're going to see me pull out. This is one of the rare instances where I'll pull out Titan just to get that extra wind. I'm going to need it because my driver is so short. It's ridiculous. So maximizing my yardage here. So what I use as a rule of thumb is I'll make sure that I have at least 9 rings. So when you see me extend that, I want to make sure that I have at least 9 rings in the clear if I go full power like that. And as long as I have, 9, 10, which is basically an entire bullseye. If you can visualize an entire bullseye, chances are you're good. And you see this guy, he's basically, pushing the very edge. Now he can go for that, which I'm assuming he's going to. He's just going to go full ball. But he has the same Sniper 8 that I do. So we're both in the same boat. So he has Kingsmaker on. Did I outdrive him? I know we're probably close. So he can get it very close to the green. I don't think he can get it on. But it's all about execution too. So you still got to hit this really well to, make sure it's not in the rough, make sure. And as you see, just kind of bops it down there. Pretty decent shot. But it's no guarantee from there, which is good. If I can get a little bit more pointed wind than he did, I can get it there. Oh, of course. Yeah, let's give me the complete opposing wind and let my opponent just completely have the advantage. Thanks, guys. So frustrating when this happens. You see, I'm going to visualize, 9 rings. And I'm pretty sure that, I can just do this. I'm basically just bopping it over here, popping it over, getting the fairway. Now I have to hope my opponent, can't make his pitch, which should be relatively easy. And if he goes ahead and makes this, I might just opt for the dunk shot from here. We'll see. But very frustrating that my opponent gets a 50-yard advantage when we're basically in the same spot, and then he gets to be able to hit a shot 50 yards farther than me on the next shot. Ridiculous. The best solution that I can think of for them to fixing that would be to I'm not sure if they're going to do it or not, but the best solution I can come up with is they need to just hide the spins again so you can't see what your opponent's doing, and then give the exact wins for both of you. So you're playing the exact winds. Of course, he shanks it right in the hole. So we're not going to be able to find out if, a perfect ball, he would have had that or not. May or may not have. But it's just one of those annoying things that you're seeing this guy be able to beat me on this hole. It's just crazy. And let's see. So the bullseye here is going to be pretty close to mid club, which is about 3 rings per. And I'm a little too far that I don't like not dunking this, to be honest with you. And I'm like I mentioned, I'm pushing basically, 3 rings per, give or take. Now I don't know how close that is to accurate. God, guys, you guys are killing me. So, oh my God, can I get this shot off without you guys messaging me? It just makes it that much harder to hit perfect ball, but I was able to get it. I just overplayed it. It's unfortunate. You see, I don't put spin on it because it really doesn't matter. It's either going to go in or it's not. And you see, it's annoying that this guy just basically comes in and just steals a win when I'm 80 yards and he just has to basically pitch it in. So very frustrating that happens. I'm really hoping that eventually they do something about it because it makes no sense. From the digital, okay, so another thing would be, if your opponent has better clubs or whatever, well, yeah, restrict his clubs, make him have the harder win. But that's kind of a fair solution, but still not the most fair. I mean, obviously, in my opinion, the most fair solution is going to be, them just making it to where your opponent, now, I'm going to be up against it here because this guy's probably going to be able to bounce that, and I might not be able to. So I got to be real cautious with my aim here. I got to try to thread the bunkers because I might not carry it far enough. So you see my aim, it's kind of threading the bunker there just in case, and as you saw, I didn't make it there and it's safe. So that's the reason for my aim there. I was trying to visualize, at least 10 bullseyes down to where it was pointed to try to make sure that I thread that, and as you see, they give, once again, his wind's more pointed, more down towards the hole, so he's going to be able to beast it down there. Now, there is a chance that if he tries to go too aggressive here, he can bring the bunkers into play. So that's something that I can kind of hope for, is that he'll kind of make a mistake, but it looks like he is kind of pulling back a little bit. It's kind of the safe way to play it, and as you see, he threaded it up there anyway. But once again, this guy, complete advantage. In fact, I'm just not gonna, if I don't take advantage of this, I'm just gonna forfeit out to this guy, because this guy, he's just bringing me bad karma. I'm getting the worst end of every situation against him. So nothing against the guy, but when you're playing opponents that get all the breaks, best to just get away from them. So what I'm going to try to do here is more of a hook shot. I'm going to try to visualize, so I'm going to try to land it somewhere in here with my spin, and then I'll know that I need to probably go about 3 bullseyes from there, and I'm not going to go full. I'm going to go somewhere in between. My goal here is to land it on the fairway, hop the bunker, and then have it going towards the hole. And that's exactly what you're seeing. So we'll see if we can't make it to the tiebreaker here. This is actually kind of a tricky little shot, especially with the way that, so he's going to need to go a bunch of rings on a Hornet, at least 2 bullseyes. He's going to start bringing max club in. This is a hard this is a hard pitch in. Even with a relatively straight wind, it's still pretty challenging. And as you're seeing exactly why. You have to play a little bit more run out. You're seeing it just stop. And you see, even with his correct wind play, still couldn't get it to run out to the hole. He had to land it closer to the hole. And that's more so than anything, just the curse of being into the wind. You always want to. So what I usually do is I'll play, but somewhere between 1 and 2 bars of backspin. When something like that, I might play 0.75 or 0.5 just to give it just a tiny bit of check. But I know that, that wind is going to take off at least a bar of backspin, at least. So, and I should have the advantage on this guy. With this hole, of course, it's straight downwind. Why wouldn't it be? So that kind of helps this guy out. It's going to level the playing field. Usually I can go and do a full backspin shot here with a driver and hit it very close. It's going to be very challenging to do that, but what I do know is he has the exact same club as me. So he's at max and he's pulling back. There's 5, 10 rings, about 10 rings. So I can use that to my advantage. After seeing him go back 10 rings and pull him back, I can kind of use that as my advantage to hopefully try to figure out, this guy's shots are just right on the money though. This is crazy. I want to know whose guess count this is, because that was extremely well played, like ridiculously well played. And so the way I try to do it, kind of similar. So I have less wind than that guy. I can already tell, it's hard to extend because it tries to club up when you do that. So it's hard to extend and kind of visualize. But I know at least for a fact, 5 rings, I at least need to go 5 rings. On this adjustment. I really wish that, everybody wouldn't just be trying to talk to me like crazy right now. So we're going to try to pull this off. See if I can't get this coming in at the right distance and coming down the hill. Not sure where my Wi-Fi went, but geez, I hope they say that I got that shot off. Come on. Can you just cancel the Wi-Fi? I don't need it. Match forfeited. Oh, of course. What the? Why would it do that in just 5 seconds? I don't even know if I beat that guy. That is so frustrating. Why would that happen? That is ridiculous. This game, let me tell you. If there was ever something that they needed to fix, we're looking at it. Oh, it looks like they gave me the win. It looks like they gave me the win. They didn't actually give me a forfeit because I got the trophies back. So it looks like I did come in and they actually gave me credit for that shot, which is weird because it didn't even say that they did. So, that's just one of those frustrating things, that we had that happen. And you saw, the way that I played that hole, you might want to just go back and rewatch it. Like, it's really hard for me to talk you through and say, you have to do this or you have to do that, because I'm really creating there. There's no way of pulling the shot arrow back and being able to say, oh, for sure, all I need to do is do this. Like, you can't do that. You don't even have that as an option. So it's just one of those things that's a little frustrating. when you're in between clubs like that, because as soon as you go any farther, it extends it to your driver, which you're not even planning on hitting, which is a little unfortunate. It makes making adjustments like that extremely challenging. So you see what I was doing there was just, you know, creating the shot. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just basically trying to guess. So I could see, like, you know, where my full backspin was pulled back to. And I was like, well, it's probably, you know, maybe 8 rings or so short of the hole. So I was trying to pull back at least another 5 to give me, you know, the 13, whatever. But I was also being cautious, you know, to add extra if necessary. So I might have pulled back just like an extra ring to, you know, factor in shot correction after it lands and whatnot. You'll see that I'll go right on this hole when I can't get over. I like playing it over this way. It shortens the hole a little bit, so that's one of the biggest reasons. Another reason is if it does point me out down towards the hole. Now on my main account, I can get it to the end way, and then if they pointed me down, I could still get to the green. But even with this account, if they point me towards the hole, I can still go back over to that left fairway. And the bunker's not in play. The only thing that is the rough. So I can still end up going back that way. To whereas you see guys go this way, these guys have to always be thinking about that bunker on their second shot. They got to thread it. Whereas I don't have to. If I get to go back that way, which chances are I don't even get to go back that way anyway. But, so what you'll see is I'll play it there, and then, you know, it's a pretty easy shot to go the other way. You see they did point it towards the hole. I don't think I didn't quite get enough wind to go back this way. I could risk it, but it's not worth it. There's no point of being stuck in the rough. I don't think that there's enough. So what you'll see is I'll do more of this. And, you know, I'll be a little generous with the way that I pull this down. So, you know, it's a 6.8. I'll pull back, say, 7 rings. You know. But I won't do anything fancy. I'm just going to, you know, hit it straight up. Nothing fancy, no curl. I don't want to start to bring the rough into play. So you'll see me play it there to make sure I wind up in the fairway. When you start adding the curls and stuff like that, sometimes you add power, don't realize it. Sometimes you take off power, you don't realize it. That's the problem with the curl in this game. You don't have a reference point that says this is 100% shot. Whereas, you know, the center of your circle is your 100% shot when you're aimed straight. So you see this guy's getting another easy wind. I think I've played this guy a while. He has, you know, a lot of plays in and a lot of tournaments. That's why he's getting some good cards. He's got a Thor 6 and a Hammerhead 6. Those are great clubs. I have a Hammerhead 6. I don't even have a Thor 6. Now, if I would have bought it in the shop, like coming up, I might have. But every time I got it in the shop, I just passed on it. So everything that I have from Thor that you see is from tournaments. Tournaments exclusively. So what you'll see me do this. Now, I told you I wanted to talk more about ring system. So you see this one's downwind. So I'll rotate this just to left of center here, which is basically keeping it on the short side. And then you'll see me just pull straight down. And you know, I'm kind of towards max club here. You're going to see me go, you know, a full 13 rings. In fact, on top of it, I might even, you know, just counter it because I know it might need it. So you're seeing me kind of pull out all. You see the weight of the shot. It looks like I might have just over adjusted it, but you're seeing that the weight of the shot, in terms of the angle that it was coming in, it was about solid weight. It didn't come in too far. It wasn't like super short. When you pull back at that slight angle, it seems to come in a little bit more true. Now, you still have to factor in those other factors that I was mentioning, like, are you on Min Club? Are you on Max Club? Like, you still have to be thinking about that. And, you know, I was pushing Max Club there. But then also, you know, the way that the shot changes, like post ball hop, like after it lands, since it's changing, you have to be able to visualize the way that it's changing and be able to come up with a way of still having some kind of precision. Because if you just play it straight up without making any change, you're going to always not be right on. It's always going to need a little something extra. And it usually comes out to the point where it's a little bit too left or it's a little too right with the new way that I'm starting to play the wind. And that's the way that I've been playing it pretty exclusively, to where I'll just point it a little bit less. And it just seems to come in a little bit more true. So that's why you see me do it. If you see me doing it, that's the reason behind it. Now I am already at a half hour here. Oh, back to this fun hole. Well, I have to go first this time. It's going to be hard to beat this guy with his shot. But you're seeing my sniper, it's way too short. And you see this shot for me isn't an option. So I'm going to basically have to outperform him on his shot. This is the reason I don't want to play this guy. Literally do not want to see him in my game, because he can do this shot so much better than I can. I already know it. I'm basically, you know, willing to just admit that. So I'm going to go at least 6 rings here. I'm going to put full curl on this. Now, I don't usually put full curl on it, but I am, because I need that counter that I was telling you guys about. Oh, I must have short hit it just a touch, because it didn't make it up there. And you see, that's the point where, you know, all this guy has to do now is get it over the bunker. So what's he going to do? He's just going to put it over the bunker. Just going to go ahead and forfeit to this guy. I don't need to be playing some guy that has Thor 6 anyway. That's kind of counterintuitive to what I'm doing. He's basically playing the exact same clubs as me, but just has enhanced versions of them. I'd rather play a Pac. I'd rather play guys who have Apocalypse. I'd rather play guys that have Extra Mile. The last guy that I want to play on these tours is guys who have clubs that are higher. Now, the one thing you got to keep in mind when you know, coming up with what you're doing on those adjustments that I'm doing. See, that was the thing where I couldn't tell if it was straight downwind or straight into the wind, because it just looked like a full side wind to me. So one of the things that you should think about is you should always pull it extra. So it would have been smart of me there to pull it, you know, the 6 rings that I went, 6-ish rings, which is pretty spot on for that. If I would have done it, but when I made my adjustment, if I would have played it like it was downwind, just to be unsafe, or into the wind. So if I would have rotated and pulled back less on the short side and the long side, it would have been a smarter way to play it. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to avoid having what just happened to me there. But again, like, it's not the worst thing. It's not the end of the world. I don't care. Like, I can sit here. I can lose matches all day. Like, it's fine. No big deal. Most importantly right now, I do want the chests. I want the chests more than I want the win and the trophies. Like, you can have all these trophies. I don't care. The only thing that I want is, you know, the 100 chests in the 100 games I play. On this account only. Like, I don't even care about them on my main account, because I don't even open them. I just wait for them to, you know, I just wait for them to open themselves. So, and the way that you'll see me do this, you know, I'll do it like this. I'm not going to do anything super aggressive. No top spin or anything like that. I don't want to have happen what just happened to that guy happen to me. So sometimes I even do it with backspin. In fact, it still happened to me. So I should have added some backspin. So now we're in the same boat here. Of course, you always have to factor in, well, your opponent, yeah, so he probably has better clubs than you, and as you see, you know, he's going to be able to pop it up here farther than I can because he's going to have less wind resistance. But we're in the same boat. It's unfortunate because, you know, I could have potentially beat this guy outright by just getting the eagle. I would have at least had, you know, probably a 40% chance he's going to miss that. And now, because I went a yard long on this guy, should have just put some backspin on. I thought downwind I'd be good, but apparently not. I started to cheat that a little bit too much left. But I did want to make sure that I, you know, had a good angle and wasn't going over towards the bunker. It's a little bit easier to pull it down the slope. Ooh, that's a nice straight wind. That's going to be really easy. So this is, you know, the one case where I don't expect that this guy's going to miss this. And this guy might beat me out right now. There's a very small chance that he's going to miss this, which is annoying. I hate playing games where I don't even get to the tiebreaker because I don't get a pin chest. Like, I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't even be mad that this guy beat me, but I'm trying to get my pin chest right now. I'm trying to get my pin chest. I can't even get to the tiebreaker. So I just wasted 5 minutes of my life playing this hole if I don't make this. But I'm assuming, you know, with the easy wind, you know, it basically, I feel like it comes down to, you know, will I hit my perfect ball? Because that's what I feel like I need to do to make this shot. I don't anticipate missing this otherwise. So you're going to see me cheat it towards the hole a little bit. I'll do like a bar and a quarter here. And then, you know, I was more towards the short end. I don't need to go more than 2 rings here, to be honest with you. So it probably comes down to, like I said, perfect ball for the hole out. And as you can see, I was able to get it. Even with my messenger going off like crazy during this video. But we were still able to get to the tiebreaker hole, which is nice. So that way I get my pin chest. And you guys get to see a little bit more tutorial videos. Let's see how nasty of a wind they can give me. This can actually turn out to be a really bad hole for me. So with that wind, it is going to be a little challenging. Now I did just get, I think with my Thor 3 came like a yard or two. That extra yard will help me a little bit, but this hole can be brutal. To be honest with you, it's a little tricky for this guy too, aside from the fact that he gets to just curl it like crazy. I'm actually surprised he's only like quarter curling this. I feel like this guy needs some more repetition. Like the way that he's playing this is super aggressive, and you just don't have to play it like that with Apocalypse. So I feel like this guy needs, you know, some tutorials on how to play this, because there's no reason he should be 8 yards. There's a chance I should be 8 yards, because when you see the shot that I'm going to have to do to beat that, I'm going to have to go full power. Well, not full power, but so I might not do it with backspin at all. I like using, but you'll see that I do have to get like semi-aggressive. So you're going to see this is my target. Of course, no power or no with a 7, I'm going to go 5. I'm basically going to go full rings there. Oh, brother. Damn glitchy phone. Do not hit the rough. Whew. So it should be good. I should be within 8. Basically, all I had to do is hit the slope, which I did. So you saw me play it very conservative. I wanted to make sure that it got back there deep enough. I feel bad for this guy because he kind of, you know, going off first, you don't want to ever put it 8 yards. The only thing I have to do is, you know, play a little conservative. I didn't expect a 2-ring shank, but if you could see the way my thing was moving, it was very glitchy. I was trying to at least go perfect 1 yard. So you'll see me play like a baby shank there and account for it because I don't have curl. So you'll see me get a little bit aggressive on my line. I wasn't sure that I was good for a 2-thing shank, but as you can see, I was still okay. But you could see how much that I was on the right side of that slope coming down there. And you'll see, you know, I'll open this thing immediately. That's kind of the way that when I'm playing my rounds like this, you'll see me, you know, just get as many chests as I can, especially in Tour 11, especially if it's Tour 11. Just bulk open those chests, and you know, you don't have to do this, but if your clubs are super underdeveloped and you can get these good chests, do it. You will get good cards in these. Not every time, but it's not going to be the epics that you want. But you can get a lot of the snipers from here. You can get a lot of the, of course it has to be the gold chest, but a lot of the, you'll get a lot of yellow cards from Tour 11 gold chests. It'll be good stuff, the stuff that you want. You know, it'll be rock, it'll be, oh my god. So this is what I noticed about when you forfeit to opponent. It seems good for a match, but as soon as that match, you can rematch him again. And this is the guy that I was telling you, he's the last guy in the world that I want to match with. Because he has my bag, but enhanced versions of my bag. I'd rather be using, like, the guy I just played. You know, he had what, a POC 3 or 4? Well, I don't remember. It was either a 3 or 4. But it's like, he has to play his shot differently than I do. It's like he's forced to. But when I go up against this guy, even if it's a tiebreaker or whatever, like, he gets to just shot copy me, but improve by a fraction of an inch because he's hitting the same driver as me, but with better accuracy, with better curl, with better, well, I mean, you've seen better everything, better backspin, better topspin. So, kind of worst case scenario playing this guy. So what you'll see me do here, I'll kind of try to gauge, you know, where the end of the fairway is. I feel like it's there. I can probably go 5 rings from there. I'm not getting aggressive with my topspin. I'm trying not to get too aggressive. This hole can be tough for me though, so I have to remain somewhat aggressive. Oh, come on! I did not expect to roll that there. So not a lot of outs when I hit it here. I might just straight forfeit to this guy. I made the one mistake that you can't. I thought I was good and I wasn't. So I'll hit one more shot, but again, like I said, this is the last guy that I want to play in this damn tour. I wish he would. I just wish this guy wasn't even online because he's mimicking my bag. He basically has, you know, Hammerhead 6 I actually think is better than Sniper 10. So he has a better version of Sniper than my Sniper 8, no question. Plus he has the extra yards. So that's the one thing that Sniper has on everybody is the extra yards. Like, those extra yards are just crucial. So, you know, he's 1-3. So no matter what, from there with Hammerhead, it makes it that much easier. No matter what the wind is, like, he's already on. So I have to keep that, you know, I'll basically play this one out for the miracle shot, but as soon as I don't pull it off, because I don't think it's even possible, the wind's in the face, so since I can't even pull off the miracle shot, I'm basically just going to forfeit to this guy. And what the forfeit does, I won't have to play him next time. Which works perfectly for me. And this will save my time. Like I said, the thing that I hate most about this is just the time effort that's being wasted. That's the thing, that's the biggest thing that bothers me. I don't care losing the match, don't care. Like right now I'm just trying to get my pin chests, so I can get frustrated when I'm not getting pins. I'm not getting to the tiebreaker. And as you see, as soon as you come off a forfeit like that, you match somebody else. Now granted, you see 2 games later you can come back, and I've had that happen quite a bit where, you know, the guy keeps playing, he's playing all damn day, like you're just gonna keep oh. So this is the hardest hole for me with my bag in this entire tour. I lose more matches to this hole than any other hole. It is extremely hard for me to get this birdie. And most of the time, why is it? Because they'll give me this wind. So it makes it extremely hard to get there in 2. You know, I'm giving up 30 yards to guys off the tee. Even more so on top of that, sometimes they'll give me downwind. I'll hit it too close, and then I'll have... Jeez, this is just brutal. Seriously. This is crazy. There's so many notifications in this game. It is crazy. And all it's doing is starting to lag my... Oh my god, guys. Come on. Can I get a match in? So you're seeing me boot it down here. Kind of get it in decent territory. But I par this hole a lot. A lot. So you see I actually outdrove this guy. Got a little slightly better win than this guy. I was able to outdrive him, thankfully. This guy, interesting approach here. Really not sure if this is going to happen. A lot of times it hits that face, especially straight into the wind, comes right down in the bunker. You know, a lot of topspin to play that shot. So, in theory, you know, I have a decent shot at this. I got it around the trees enough that I can hook this thing. So you're gonna see me play it here. I'll play, you know, a good 3 rings, and then I'll add my 10 yards. So I'll go at this with some power, and then the shank as well. And just try my best to get this somewhere on the green. Chill. Oh, I got lucky. I got extremely lucky. I'm surprised that added that much power. I thought I was good for 10 yards of power there. And I think I did 10 yards of power, and it was coming in way too hot. That was a really fortunate break off the fringe there. But you'll see this guy can still pop this in here, especially a perfect ball, but I've also had the perfect ball glitch as to where this will go perfect. We're not going to see whether or not that's going to happen. Or sometimes I'll go perfect there and then that's still have trouble making that. So it can be, you know, a touchy shot. A little unfortunate. I got a little fortunate, but you know, I've had my string of bad luck in this set too that I'm sure you've seen. So what are you going to do? You're seeing me miss that pitch. Shanked it for whatever reason. I feel like my device is just starting to lag too much. So, you know, I was just rushing the shot more than anything. Because usually the way that you should do this, in fact, that I think there's another video where I also do that. I just rush the shot. I've been doing that a lot more recently to where I just don't care. So I just, put it on the center of the hole real quick, and then, I'll rush it instead of just fidgeting with it. I should have, like, if I'm playing that for real, like I need to make it, I'm putting it inside right, and I'm really focused on perfect ball. No exceptions. And what you saw me get there, nothing like that. Oh, of course. We get to do this lovely hole again. So again, you already saw what I did last time, and it's going to be kind of the same MO as to what you saw me do last time. I feel like a good frame of reference is I'm about 8 yards, more or less, short of where I need to be. So, I'll pull it back 5-6 rings, just kind of go for it from here. Kind of very similar to what you saw me do last time. Should be relatively, might be a little deep. It's a little deep, just by about a ring. And one ring cost me, that last one was inside 1, so it cost me probably 2 yards there. That little baby underplay that I just did there. And you're seeing this guy, he has a sniper 10, of course. Why would I expect anything less? Should be able to beat my shot, but also has to execute. It's hard to do it using the ring system and going a full 12, 13 rings. What tends to happen when you play it like this, it looks like he's actually adding a little bit of power. I don't think there's a chance in the world he's stopping this ball the way he just played it. So like I was mentioning, the way that you see me do it is you'll see me pull back short side to where it'll be short. That's a perfect example of what I was talking about. Like, he just pulled it straight, and since it was downwind, it just pulled extra. That's why you'll see me pulling down on the wind. So I'll pull down, which basically pulls it back farther, and then you won't go long. But another thing to take note of, when you watch that guy do that, he added power on his curl. I'm not sure if he knew he did that or if he was trying to do that. But that's another thing for you to be wearisome of. So if you want to, rewind that, take a look at what he just did there. He basically added power unnecessarily. Probably didn't even know he was doing it. That's one of the biggest things I hate with the curl system, is you just can't tell what you're doing. Like, it's a total guess. So let's see, we're coming up on an hour here.